Okay, so in our previous episode, we yeah, okay, so in our previous episode, we did our basic install of the dev environment, and we got to check out our code. So what we want to do now is look at our localhost and see what we get when we start the browsing to our phSite. Okay, so this is the folder that we created. So that is gonna, this I can ignore. So as you see, you get a database error occurring. That's because we haven't set up our configuration yet. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So if what you want to do now is go back to web server and open your web directory. So what we're going to do is find the configuration file for CodeIgniter that tells where to find the database. So database application is where this is in the config folder. So what we want to do, there's two files that we're going to be looking at here, and that is these config and database. So what I'm going to do is edit this with my editor, Notepad++, which is a very good text editor on Windows. Okay, so in this file, what we have is to change is our base URL. So we haven't set up any virtual hosts yet, so what I'm going to do is change this value to reflect what is up here. And what we'll go through creating a virtual host in a later episode. So first let's paste right there. So that is going to set our base URL for our dev environment. So this is important because it knows how to set the relative links and where the home page is. So and that's all that you really want to change in this file. There's a whole bunch of CodeIgniter settings, but we're not really concerned with that. So that's all we want to do is save that. And we can close that window. Now let's go back to our config, and now we want to open a database. Edit with Notepad++. Okay, so in the database config file, you have an explanation here, commented out of all the different setting lines that you can have. So hostname of your database server, username username to connect to your database, password. I've got some defaults in there, but this is what I want to erase some of this because there's some values that shouldn't be there. Okay, so host name in this case, because we've just have a base install of WAP, it's going to be localhost, and the default account for MySQL, this is the MySQL that we can't root, and there's no password right now because we didn't set one yet. But you definitely don't want to have a root with no password, so we'll go back and set that after. So now we named our database phSite, if you remember from the last episode, and the DB driver, it actually is MySQL. And you see the character set, default character set UTF-8, and collation UTF-8 general CI, which is the same as we set our database to. So now we can go and save those. And now let's go back and to our local host and see what we get. Okay, so now we know that the database has been found, and obviously we're getting an error because we have nothing in our database yet. We have no tables yet in our database. So now we're going to set up those tables using phpMyAdmin. So if you go back to your root of your local host, you can have, there's a link here to the phpMyAdmin section. Don't show me this again. Thank you. Okay, so now what we want to do is get your phSite database and go to the import tab. So what you want to do is, in this file to import, you want to go and find the SQL dump file that we have in our source that we checked out. So go to C, WAMP, www, phSite, and this is what you're looking for, phSite underscore ci.sql, and this is what's going to create all of our tables. And let's just go ahead and say go. And there you go. Import has been successfully finished. 96 queries executed. So as you can see, all our tables exist now. And if we go back to our local host, let's do a new tab here. Local host, and phSite.issp. Now our phSite installation is working, as you can see. So as you see, there's nothing there because there's no content yet, but it's working, there's no errors, and now our development environment is set up.